damn, this show's the shit. I mean, seriously, guys. This was a pretty goddamn great season of Daredevil. I was kind of afraid it may stumble a bit, and admittedly, there was a bit of stumbling towards the end of the season, but I'll get to that when I get to that. So yeah, obviously I'm doing a review for Daredevil Season 2, Netflix's Daredevil Season 2, on Netflix, of course, like I just said, why'd I repeat myself? And yeah, right out the gate, I'm not going to spoil. I'm going to do minor spoilers because there are some things I want to talk about, but I'm not going to do any like major super duper spoilers because obviously, as of this recording, this came out today. So I'm not going to try to spoil this show for you guys. I don't want to do that. But there will be some minor spoilers, just around the bend. A few tiny things, but if you don't want to be spoiled, I suggest you not watch this video if you don't want to see spoilers at all. So yeah, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. First and foremost, Jon Bernthal. That man is the Punisher. That man is 100% the Punisher. Yeah, this guy dedicated himself to being Frank Castle. I even said to myself, I don't see Jon Bernthal. I see Frank Castle in this role. And admittedly, I don't think there's ever been one person, but 3 out of 4 of the 4 people who have been the Punisher in film film wise. I think 3 out of 4 we haven't had a bad Punisher. Dolph Lundgren, as much as Dolph Lundgren was not the Punisher, but. Ray Stevenson and Thomas Jane, I thought were pretty good at, as Frank Castle. But Jon Bernthal, I think, has, Thomas Jane, Ray Stevenson, they were good too. But Jon Bernthal, I think, takes the cake. Admittedly, I think he takes the cake. He really got into this role. He really got in the mindset of Frank Castle. And there is a lot of Max influence in here. There is a major part of it in the start of the season is the second volume of the Garth Ennis Punisher Max run, which is Kitchen Irish, which is it plays very heavily in the first few episodes. That's the thing. I'm going to say this right now. If you thought this was just going to be Punisher and Daredevil going back and forth, and the sub-story was going to be Electra, that's not really the case here. It's actually kind of flipped, really. Even though Punisher is, front and center in the first few episodes, he does take the Punisher stuff takes a back seat, really, to what goes on to, the Electra stuff, really. So, yeah, that's kind of the thing, is that if you go into this thinking, oh yeah, Daredevil and Punisher are fighting all the time, not really the case. Punisher's more like he's more the Karen Page story than anything else. But not to say that's bad. They actually do a lot more cooler stuff with Karen Page. She's now becoming, we do see the fallout of what happened with Ben Urich, and obviously in his passing in the first season, and we see more of her, becoming very much like him. So I do like where they went with Karen in this season, as well as digging around with the Punisher. And yeah, again, Jon Bernthal, I can't get over how great he was as the Punisher. He again, he's done interviews saying that he would sit under the Brooklyn Bridge for hours on end just to feel the characters have that kind of isolationism that Frank Castle has. And yeah, also apparently, I don't know where this, I don't know if this one is true or not. I don't know if this little fact is true or not, but apparently the pit bull you see in a few of the episodes is apparently Bernthal's actual dog. That's his pit bull. That is his pit. It's not a trained dog. Yeah, that's his pit bull. Apparently, I don't know if that's true or not, but I would be inclined to believe that. Because of how the dog was reacting to Bernthal, because it kept trying to go to him, and dogs usually only do that when they see their master. So, yeah. But again, every little moment with Frank Castle is awesome. even when he's just using his facial expressions. Like here's a good thing when Daredevil and Punisher are on the rooftop. And again, that's another great scene with that's another great Daredevil Punisher moment straight out of the comics right there. And what was I going to say? Yeah, when he's got him, Matt chained up to the, he's got him chained up with the gun duct taped to his hand, and yeah, the only way you're going to stop me is going to kill me kind of thing. There's a great moment where they're having their conversation, and it's a great scene. Don't get me wrong, it is a great scene between Matt and Frank having that conversation, because in a way they're both right, and they really put up a lot of good arguments for both sides of the spectrum. But one of the reasons why I bring this up is because when when Frank's talking to him, he doesn't really make eye contact with Matt a lot. Frank doesn't make a lot of eye contact with him. And reason being is because that's a soldier thing. That is usually a thing that happens when you're out of the military. Is because, and my brother told me that my brother's he's Army. Big reason for that is because they don't like to make eye contact with most people when you get out of service. Is because it's hard for people to look at for some reason it's like a defense mechanism. Like you just don't want to make a lot of eye contact. Especially if you've gotten out of a war zone, because you have this like stigma towards other people, like for unknown, you can't look at them right in the eye without thinking about what you did back then. So, that's how my brother sees it, really. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting little trait. I don't think anyone's going to pick up on that, but yeah. According to my brother, yeah, that's an actual thing. Not every person who gets out of the military is messed up, but he did it. Like I showed him that clip, and he's like, "Yeah, that's a thing some soldiers do. Even he does it. He doesn't like to look at people right in the eye, really." So, yeah, I thought that was an interesting little trait right there. And yeah, but some soldiers have been known to do that, and I think that's I think that was cool of Bernthal to add that little aspect in there obviously with Frank's military background. What else did I want to talk about regarding Punisher? There's just so much, really. I love even though he became a subplot story revolving around Foggy and Karen, I still liked him. I still liked that story, what they were doing, and how they kind of connected everything with him. Then we have Elodie Yung as Electra. I thought she was great. They make Electra a little more unhinged in this story. They do make her very much a little more psychotic than she is in the comics. Although you could argue that they're taking a little bit from Frank. I think the main thing is the really Frank Miller Electra. Like if you've read like Frank Miller run Electra, she's a little unhinged herself, and they kind of put that also in Ultimate. And the costume itself looks very Ultimate, not the over the mask, over the mouth kind of thing, but the rest of the costume, it looks very Ultimate, in my opinion. It does look like very Ultimate Electra right there. So, when you see her, and getting off on killing, I'm going to spoil this right now, she gets off on it, it's very reminiscent to some of how, like, Frank Miller wrote her a little bit, especially if I remember right, Electra Assassin, that comic. What else did I want to say about Electra? Elodie Yung, I think she did really good. She played that character in that femme fatale kind of aspect of Electra Nachios very much well. Charlie Cox, again, I forgot to talk about Charlie Cox earlier, but dear Lord is Charlie Cox. That dude, I forget about Ben Affleck. I'm sorry, Affleck. I know I'm looking forward to you as Batman, but you were not Daredevil. Charlie Cox, on the other hand, that man is Matt Murdock, and this season once again proves that he is Daredevil. And yeah, the moral quandary in here, it really plays more, because now he's starting to realize, I took care of one problem, but I've created like 1,000 more. And again, how he plays off of Bernthal's Punisher is just spectacular. And especially when when Punisher and Daredevil fight, it's not pretty. It's not a pretty thing. It is kind of choreographed, obviously, with Daredevil's fighting style, but really, it's brutal. The fighting between Frank and Matt is just brutal. It's bloody. It's not pretty. Like you can feel every punch. And that's the thing. Some of these fight scenes there's some great, excellent fight scenes, especially in the third episode. Oh man, when they're going down those staircases, fighting all the Matt's going down the staircase, fighting all those bikers with just chain in his hand and a duct tape hand and a wrench. Oh, it's such a great scene. I mean, it's not like the other, in season 1 in that hallway scene, but it's damn near close. Good lord. Again, some of the fight scene, every fight scene is just beautiful to watch. It's brutal, it's in your face, but at the same time, you just can't look away from it because it's how amazing it's put together. The Foggy Nelson, they really stepped up Foggy Nelson's character. There are just some great scenes in the courtroom that I was like, I don't want this to stop. I want to keep watching Foggy Nelson in the courtroom fighting for, Frank Castle, even though he doesn't want to do this. So, yeah, I really liked Foggy Nelson. I didn't hate him in season 1. I just feel like they didn't give him much to do other than be, oh, Matt, you shouldn't do this. And he does that here, but he's a little more justified. Because here's the thing about Matt Murdock. If you've read, Miller and Bendis and Wade's run, yeah, they do this in Wade's run as well, Matt's very self-destructive, and they prove that in this season. They really do show how self-destructive Matt Murdock can be as a person in this season. So you see it very clearly in here. We also get I need to spoil this because I have a theory of where this is going to go for season 3. So if you don't want to be spoiled about this, just pause it, go watch the show, or just you don't care. Let's keep going. Wilson Fisk shows up. 3 episodes. Well, yeah, pretty much for sake of argument, 3, a couple episodes. And I thought it was going to be a one and done thing. When I first saw him, show up at the end of the episode where Punisher is taken to prison, I was like, holy shit, I didn't even know you were coming back. No, really, if there was a news report saying that Vincent D'Onofrio was coming back as Kingpin, I must have missed it, and I'm glad I did, because getting the Kingpin, getting the Wilson Fisk reveal was just like, oh my god! Because let's face it, Vincent D'Onofrio was one of the best things about Daredevil Season 1, and trust me, there were a ton of things that made Daredevil Season 1 spectacular. This seeing him once again as Kingpin, and yeah, he does make him, it's really cool, because in those few episodes we do see of Fisk, this is the Kingpin is officially born. Yeah, this is how even though he didn't call himself the Kingpin in Season 1, this is his, we did see how he was formed from that, but now in these few episodes we saw of him, yeah, now the Kingpin is officially born. Yeah, so maybe next season, white suit? Just saying. And also I'm going to bring up this theory I have right now. I'm just going to bring this up. I think, there is a scene between Matt and Fisk in an interrogation room. Not an interrogation room, like a common, wherever, in jail you can meet, visit. I don't know what the word is, what the word for the room is, but yeah, they meet because Fisk managed to let Frank go. I don't want to spoil how that all went down, but yeah, long story short, Frank got let go. Fisk let Frank go, and Matt wants to know why, and he kind of pushes the wrong button. He brings up Vanessa. And he thinks, oh yeah, I got him now. Yeah, that didn't exactly turn out well for Matt, because Fisk quintessentially flipped his shit and told him, I'm coming after you when I get out of here with everything I have. So I'm pretty goddamn sure for Season 3, when we get Season 3, we're going to be getting, what's the word I'm looking for? Born Again. I'm pretty sure that Born Again is going to be the big Season 3 story arc. I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing an adaptation of that story, of how that scene, and there's a few other places, and where this goes. Sorry about that. But yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure that where they're going to go is Born Again, of how that moment went down. Fisk is pretty much saying, when I get out of here, the first thing I'm going to do is come after you and Foggy. And there's also a few other things. I don't want to spoil but there are a few other things sprinkled throughout here that really plays into, yeah, this is, season 3 is more than likely going to be Born Again, the adaptation. Or at least that's going to be the major story arc drive. I'm pretty sure they're going to bring in other stuff, but that's what I'm thinking so far. So, be prepared for that. What else did I want to say about this? Oh yeah, we get more of the Hand. We get more of the history of the Hand. We get what the Rising is mostly about. And I'm pretty sure we are, Defenders is going to be about is going to be an adaptation of Shadowland. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the case at this point. I am 90% sure that's going to be what the story is going to be about. So, yeah. Anyway, so with Daredevil season, we had. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just kind of tripping over my words right now. But this was such a great season. I was completely blown away. It does kind of... The story, I will say, the last 2 episodes of this season stumble a bit because I feel like they tried to wrap up everything in both story arcs separately, and I feel like it just kind of... I just feel like it wrapped up and it left a little too open-ended, you know what I mean? I mean, I know they're going to get a 3rd season, and a lot of stuff is going to be dealt with in the other Marvel Netflix shows, but really, it kind of felt like... feels a little too open-ended, if you ask me. It feels a little too... it just feels a little anticlimactic, you know what I mean? There's the better word. It feels a little too anticlimactic. But yeah, all in all, Daredevil once again, the devil got his due once again, and the Punisher got his due as well. So... yeah, Marvel's Daredevil is probably one of the best things, if not the best thing, Marvel has been putting out. So hopefully it can keep going with season 3. Knock on wood, because I don't want it to be like Arrow season 3. Be a better Arrow season 3, Daredevil season 3. That's all I ask. But really, I'm really glad for this. I'm super excited for the Luke Cage show coming out. I believe September? Yes, September 30th is going to be the premiere date for the Luke Cage show this year. So, yeah. Anyway, so you guys tell me, what did you all think of Daredevil Season 2? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? What did you all think of, Electra, the stuff with the Hand, Punisher, of course, and Daredevil, everything? Really interested to know what you guys have to say. And do you think Season 3 will be a adaptation of Born Again? Because obviously that's probably one of, if not the best known Daredevil story. So I'm pretty goddamn sure we're going to see that in somewhere down the road, if not Season 3 somewhere. And who knows, maybe they'll bring in the other villains. Maybe we'll finally see Bullseye in Season 3, along with other Daredevil villains like Mr. Fear, maybe not Lady Bullseye right out the gate alongside Bullseye, but I'm pretty sure Mr. Fear, Jester, and a few others as well. So, yeah. Anyway, so once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys later.